Hello and welcome to another PlanetDestiny video. Today we'll be going over all of the exotic boots currently in the game. Both the Mark 44 stand-asides and the Radiant Dance Machines were introduced with the Dark Below DLC. They provide interesting buffs while increasing your heavy ammo capacity. First off, let's go over the heavy ammo buff. It's on both pair of boots, and it's pretty much essential since typically the highest light level boots will have the heavy ammo buff. Let's take a look at the popular heavy weapons, particularly Yallarhorn, Thunderlord, Truth, and Hunger of Crota. I'll be referencing a pretty big post that Reddit user DHI8Q3R made regarding heavy ammo drops, and a link to that will be in the description. Normally, Yallarhorn will only hold 5 rounds, but with the buff, you'll hold 7. Thunderlord without Field Scout will hold 95, and 131 with the heavy ammo buff. Thunderlord with Field Scout will hold 180 normally, and then with the heavy ammo buff will only hold 181. Truth will hold 5 normally, and with the heavy ammo buff will hold 8. Finally, Hunger of Crota will hold a very low 4, but with the heavy ammo buff will hold 6. An important thing to note, using Field Scout on Thunderlord, or any LMG for that matter, in conjuncture with a heavy ammo buff will only increase your reserve rounds by 1, so don't feel like you're getting cheated out of more ammo due to a bug, it's just how the game handles the increase to LMG ammo. Alright, enough with the numbers, let's get into the fun parts about these boots. First up are the Mark 44 stand-asides. The main perk on these will increase the active duration of your shoulder charge. Normally shoulder charge is only active for 5 seconds, but with these boots it is increased up to 8 seconds. That really doesn't sound like a lot, but it is over a 50% increase to the normal duration. In PvE, it makes using your shoulder charge a bit more practical, and certainly makes a certain Eris Morn bounty much easier. You're going to have a little bit more room to plan out your charges, or you can just run out from cover from a greater distance. Titans are a bit crazy, so I'm sure some of you are questioning the notion of even using cover. PvP is really where these boots shine though. The heavy ammo buff actually does cause you to pick up more heavy ammo for whatever weapon you wear, but the shoulder charge buff is really why you're using them. While these extra 3 seconds don't sound like a lot, you'll be surprised with the distance that you can cover in that amount of time. Most seasoned Striker Titans probably won't find these that useful though, since they've probably learned how to plan their shoulder charges ahead of time. For the uninitiated, you can simply run at a wall or other object to kind of charge up your sprint, allowing your shoulder charge to be ready right when you round a corner. These boots will increase your strength, which meshes well with the overall theme of shoulder charge. You'll usually have a backup melee ready if you round a corner and find 2 enemies instead of 1. In truth, the extra duration of shoulder charge just doesn't really stand up to some of the other exotics out there for Titans. Helm of Inmost Light or Armamentarium for PvP, and Armamentarium or Ruin Wings for PvE are still really my recommendations. I can really only recommend the Mark 44 stand-asides if you're almost exclusively using shoulder charge to kill things. Finally, let's take a look at the Radiant Dance Machines. These are going to be useful for either spec of Hunter, as their main perk, which increases your movement speed while aiming, is not subclass specific. Up on the screen are a bunch of comparisons with them on, without them on, with and without certain weapon perks or weapons. In all my tests, these really seem to come into their own when using maximum agility build and a weapon with the lightweight perk. The crowning loadout though is Mida Multi-Tool plus the Dance Machines. It's a very fast-paced loadout requiring you to always be moving to take advantage of the increased movement speed while aiming down sight. In PvP, it really messes with your enemies since they aren't used to someone moving at almost normal walking pace while aiming. If you're also good with your aiming and dancing, then you can pretty much just dodge people's shots. While the top tier players will still hit you, the majority of the playing field will have a much more difficult time landing their shots on you. If you don't have the Mida Multi-Tool, you should prioritize weapons that mesh well with aiming down sights or just moving quicker. Weapons with focus fire, rangefinder, lightweight, or shot package should be ones to look out for when building your loadout with these boots. In PvE, the Radiant Dance Machines really fall flat though. As I stated before, you have to go all in on making these boots useful to see any visible impact. It really just isn't worth it, since you'll be hurting your loadout and stats to only be slightly more evasive while aiming. For PvE, picking an exotic that is more focused towards your subclass is going to heavily outweigh the Radiant Dance Machine's main perk. These boots will increase your strength, which is an okay stat for PvP hunters. It doesn't really mesh well though with the dance perk, but it is a good neutral stat since it's always nice to have your melee attack ready for when you couldn't drop an enemy at range. Now overall, do these boots feel worthwhile? Honestly, no. at least not on their own. It's going to require you to be 100% invested in it with your talents and weapon loadout, and to make the most of it, you honestly need to be a really high-skilled player. I can really only recommend these to players looking to try out a new loadout for PvP, as their impact in PvE is just so minimal. I hope you guys found this review helpful. This has been Patrick Casey with PlanetDestiny, your guide to the Destiny universe.